This is Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.
Hello and welcome to Pulse of Africa News. I am Tansai Gabia with the latest. First, our top stories for today. Dangote calls for food security in Africa. Ramaphosa urges ANC to tackle corruption. Ghana to host Africa Oil Week 2025. Now the news in detail. Dangote calls for food security in Africa. Chief Executive of Dangote Industries Limited, Aliko Dangote, has called for prioritization of food security and self-sufficiency across Africa, stressing the continent's vast agricultural potential. Dangote highlighted agriculture as a key pillar for sustainable development on the continent. He said Africa is richly endowed with arable land. With the right policies, adequate investment, and adoption of modern technology, farmers can significantly increase their yields on return on investment. With effective policy frameworks and technological advancement, Africa can achieve food security and become self-sufficient. Investing in agriculture will also unlock growth across various sectors of the economy, Dangote added. Morocco pledges support for South-South cooperation. Minister of Economy and Finance Nadia Feta said Morocco is constantly committed to promoting South-South cooperation and co-development in Africa. Speaking at the opening of the investment roundtable dedicated to financing the Central African Republic's National Development Plan 2024 to 2028, the minister noted that this two-day gathering illustrates the kingdom's ongoing commitment to South-South cooperation and assistance to development for this country. In a statement to the press, Feta spoke of this event as a part of His Majesty the King's vision to promote African solidarity, adding that the kingdom stands alongside the Central African Republic as it embarks on a promising path of development. Ramaphosa urges ANC to tackle corruption. President Cyril Ramaphosa has implored African National Congress and National Executive Committee members to take bold steps to end corruption and mismanagement at the local sphere of government. He was speaking at the party's special National Executive Committee meeting, called to discuss the challenges facing the government and how to intervene to solve those challenges. Ramaphosa said all the failures at the municipal level are often feeding into the perception that the ANC is failing. He says all too regularly, corruption, mismanagement, an outrageous lack of consequence management and accountability allow dysfunctionality to continue with impunity, thus prolonging the suffering of our people living in affected communities. Now this must end, and this National Executive Committee must take bold decisions on how we are going to address this. WHO begins Ebola vaccinations in DRC. The World Health Organization has begun vaccinating frontline health workers and contacted of infected individuals in response to a new Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo. An initial 400 doses of the Ervebo Ebola vaccine have been delivered to Bulape, the epicenter of the outbreak, from a national stockpile of 2,000 doses. The International Coordinating Group on Vaccine Provision has approved the shipment of an additional 45,000 doses to help contain the spread. The outbreak, declared in early September, is the DRC's first in 3 years. The virus, which thrives in the country's dense tropical forest, has so far resulted in 32 suspected cases, 20 confirmed, and 16 deaths, according to the Health Ministry in Kinshasa. In other news, UK and US to announce tech and energy deals. The United States and Britain will announce agreements on technology and civil nuclear energy during US President Donald Trump's unprecedented second state visit this week, as the UK hopes to finalize steel tariffs under the much-vaunted trade deal. Trump and his wife, Melania, will be treated to a display of British royal pageantry during their visit on Wednesday, including a carriage tour, a state banquet, a flypast by military aircraft, and a gun salute. The British government hopes the soft power of the royals will appeal to Trump as it seeks a tighter defense security and energy ties with Washington, having already secured a favorable tariff deal. Australia warns of cascading climate risks. Australia will suffer more frequent and extreme climate events, often happening simultaneously, which will strain industry, services, and infrastructure, a government report indicated. Among the conclusions of the most comprehensive assessment of risk to Australia posed by climate change were that heat waves will become more frequent and deadly, while rising sea levels will put millions at risk, and plants and animals will have to move, adapt, or die. Northern parts of the country, remote communities, and other suburbs of major cities will be particularly susceptible, Climate and Energy Minister Chris Bowen said in a statement. No Australian community will be immune from climate risks that will be cascading, compounding, and concurrent, he said.
The story of resurgent Ethiopia and burgeoning Africa is here, only on the Pulse of Africa channel, all the time. Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.
Now to business news. Ghana to host Africa Oil Week 2025. The Ministry of Energy and Green Transition is set to host Africa Oil Week 2025, the continent's largest energy event focused on upstream development and finance. Taking place from 15th to 18th of September 2025 in Accra, the high-level gathering will bring together ministries, national oil companies, regulators, and private sector leaders to unlock investment, drive strategic energy partnerships, and shape the future of Africa's upstream industry. Minister for Energy and Green Transition of Ghana, Mr. John Abdoulaye Jinapor, reaffirmed his commitment to ensuring Africa maximizes its natural resources for socio-economic transformation and energy security. He emphasized the urgent need for African unity and investment mobilization to navigate the continent's evolving energy landscape. Finally, U.S.-China trade talks continue. U.S. and Chinese officials will hold a second day of trade talks in Spain on Monday as the deadline for the Chinese owner of TikTok to find a buyer or face a ban in America looms. The negotiations led by U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Chinese Vice Premier He Lifeng are the latest attempt to end a trade war between the world's two biggest economies. Top-level trade delegations from Beijing and Washington last met in July when they struck a deal to end their tariffs truce by another 90 days until 10th of November. After initially calling for TikTok to be banned during his first term, Trump has reversed his stance on the popular video sharing app and delayed the ban 3 times so far. Before concluding, let us provide you with the latest updates on global commodities prices. Now to weather updates. That's all for today, and thanks for watching Pulse of Africa.
This is Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.